Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to 2026. And that was a bit of a different intro for the live streams because this is the first proper one, the first one that started in 2026 officially. And we did see in the new year, and thank you to you guys for joining me then. But now we're just fully into it, back to normal on the live streams, apart from that intro that I just did. So hello to you guys in the live chat room, and thank you for joining me tonight. We have in there Ro, Ninja Kitty, Mo, Tracer, and Billy, and Junior something girl, Howard, Joe, Melody Rocks, Laura, Rose, Bob's in there as well, Billy, and Cindy, Kevin, B's in there, and it's going through too quickly now for me to keep up with it. So Yes, we are fully into 2026, and we're going to be live streaming as we did throughout 2025, just keeping things exactly the same. Maybe not exactly the same, we'll just be doing what we did, which in this particular case isn't really planning the live streams very much and just seeing what happens. So let me get the names of my patrons up on screen, because they're the ones that make this disorganized chaos possible. So a massive thank you to you guys. You know who you are. Their names will go across the bottom of the live streams throughout 2026, and yeah, the foundation of everything that I do, as I always say. Now let's get the likes goal up on screen, because I did kind of and have lost track of where we are with the likes goals. So tonight it's set at 300, and it means that if we do hit that target of 300, we're going to have Phil Jam number 295. So as you come through the door, if you could leave a thumbs up, that would be very much appreciated, and then we can bust out the guitar at the end of the live stream and just see what happens. Now I will get the donations tab up on screen as well, because you don't have to donate. Just watching is great. And for those people that can't resist donating, I think it's important they know between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube through the super chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal through the PayPal link, which you can find in the description below, but you do not have to donate at all. And I can see that there have been some donations already, so thank you for those guys. But there were, I think, 2 donations that I missed, or maybe 3 if you count Orlando's one twice. So he did 2 separate donations at the end of the last live stream. Of course, it was New Year's Eve going into New Year's Day, so it's all a little bit hectic, and the late donations, or the donations that happened after the New Year had started, but also after the Phil Jam, I just missed a few of those. So there was, there were 2 from Orlando for $1.99 and $2. So thank you for that, Orlando. And the message was Happy New Year to all in the UK. And then Diamond Girl donated $5, and I think this is about the Phil Jam that we had. It said soothing and emotional, perfect for bringing in, I might have written that down incorrectly, in the new and saying goodbye to the old. So thank you for those donations. And I am going to jump into the donation window, which means that, well, the likeometer we haven't got up on screen yet, so I'll bring it back when we get out of the viewer donations window, or the super chat window, because the likeometer is still in stream settings. So I don't know whether they're ever going to change that. It's just a bit of a pain that it's there. So we'll bring on the likeometer when it actually has numbers inside it. So Paul donated $10, so thank you for that. And the message was, here we go, first Saturday live stream of the new year. All y'all, let's have fun, and please spike those likes so we can have Phil Jam. So thank you for that, Paul. And Peridot has donated £5 as well, so thank you for that. And the message is, hi Phil, caught you on New Year's Eve on Channel 5 talking about the Carpenters. Explanation. Well, I'm going to give you an explanation, but exclamation mark. Right, so yeah, if you were in the UK and you're watching Channel 5, which is one of the main channels that we have here, we have 5 channels, of which that is number 5, but it's very similar to, we have BBC 1, BBC 2, ITV, Channel 4 and Channel 5. And on Channel 5, on New Year's Eve, you would have seen me, just briefly on this particular show, which was I guess it was like a documentary about unseen footage by ABBA and Karen Carpenter, and also Dolly Parton. So it was 3 sets of unseen footage that was all put into a particular show. And I was live streaming because this thing that I did for Channel 5 was recorded a few months ago, and I did mention it, but I said that I couldn't really say a lot about it because then people would know what the show is, and they'll know that, yeah, at Christmas time potentially there's going to be a show, and they already know what it's going to be. And yeah, I don't know how that would affect things, but this is what TV is like. I was told not to tell anybody about it, but now it has been on, I can say something about it. So yeah, I was on TV just talking about Karen Carpenter and just, you know, putting in a few comments here and there. And yeah, it was great to be asked to do something like that. And it's the first thing that I've done that's been, I guess, with my analysis hat on and talking about, you know, tuning and Karen Carpenter's voice and just the different things that I mentioned in that particular show. And yeah, there were loads of other artists and kind of experts and musicians talking on that. So it's great to be involved with that. And for, yeah, I guess for what I do here on YouTube to now bleed over into, I guess, a more mainstream show and something that is shown on national TV. And it's the first time that I've ever been on national TV from what I do here on YouTube, because I've been doing this for maybe 8 years or something like that. I've been analysing different performances, and yeah, it's the first time that I've been on just as myself. Obviously I've been on TV previously, which was more of a statement thing about TV talent shows, but that wasn't anything to do with, you know, serious analysis and the stuff that I do day in, day out on the channel here. So it's great that people have seen the channel to that extent where I might be asked for my input on things like, you know, rare performances and maybe adding something to the show that people might not necessarily appreciate beforehand because of what I've done on the channel. So yeah, that was really cool to do. And as for finding the show, I don't know, because I have seen it, but the thing is that I've got it on my Skybox, but then a Skybox, it doesn't have anything where you can take shows off it. It's just stored on the Skybox. So yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to be able to do. I might be able to take some screenshots or just a few pictures of it and maybe upload those. I might put something on Instagram, or I'm not sure what I can or how I can get other footage, because what they have is the show that I was on, or the version of the show that I was on, had other very well-known people talking, and I'm not saying that I'm very well known, but people that I know in the music industry, or I know of, I don't know them personally, but Joan Armour Trading, for example, who I have had contact actually with on Facebook, because I did a video years ago, and then she commented on the video, or thanked me for doing the video. But anyway, yeah, so musicians and I guess music journalists, these kinds of people who are giving little snippets of information about different performances. So there's one that has all of that in, and that's about an hour and a half. But then there's another one that just has the voiceover and just very small sections. It's mostly just about the unseen footage of these performances. So that, I know, is the version that's on catch up. So they're not showing the full New Year's Eve show. They're just showing a segment of it, or about an hour's worth of it, which is just mostly the unseen footage with a voiceover. So yeah, if I can find the New Year's Eve version of it, then obviously I'll be able to maybe do a video on it and just feature little bits of it, because it's me talking about it. So I should be able to get away with that on fair use, because it is actually me. But it's just a case of finding that particular version, because like I said, it's just been cut down on the catch-up versions. So I will look out for it, and if that does happen, then I think I'll probably put it into a video of some sort, because it is quite a good milestone to reach, to actually do something that can be seen nationally on TV. And people, I'm sure, that haven't seen my channel won't know who I am or what I was on about, but then I am, given the credit as Phil Henley, music analyst, and then Wings of Pegasus. So if they do type that in, then they should be able to find the stuff that I do here. But anyway, yeah, it's great that we've got a little bit of attention on the channel. And I think over the last year or two, we have got a fair amount of attention because of the videos that I've done. And yeah, it's great for people to be watching the videos, but again, all I'm doing is just pointing out what's going on in performances. And yes, it's not a lot more than that, but people do find it interesting, which is great. So yeah, thank you guys for those donations. And over on PayPal, there have been other donations which I will jump into as well, because Willis donated £50, so thank you for that. And that was a straight up donation, and that was back on New Year's Day, so thank you for that. And Chuck donated £2 as well, so thank you for that, Chuck, and it's a straight up donation. And then Mitch Marie has donated £2, so thank you for that. And there's a message with this one. It says, "Hi Phil, what was your guitar setup when recording? Was it similar to your live setup? Did you mic up the amp or use a line out? Did you use a preamp, pedal, etc.? Thanks and Happy New Year." So thank you for that, and Happy New Year to you. So the setup that I have, or I had, but I have had for all of the cover videos that I've made and my album, has always been the same really, is I just mic up my amplifier. And I know that, yes, some people prefer to go, you know, or come out of the line out if they do have that option on the head of their amplifier. And some people might even, you know, want to go through modeling effects, for example. Like, you know, back in the day, the first effects unit I had was a Line 6 pod, which looked like it was a kidney shape, and it had lots of different, it's like an emulator, so lots of different amps that it is imitating the sound of. And, you know, I tried to work with that for a while, but I don't know, there's just something about it that just didn't click with me. I still preferred hearing the sound of the amp, or at least miking up the amp. So then once I kind of decided that I like the sound of miking up the amplifier, then that's just what I did. And then for the album, I tweaked the sounds. Because I was doing it all myself, it meant that I could spend as much time as I wanted to try and get the guitar sound to sound like the one that I heard in my head. So I'd just play a bit of guitar, play a bit of rhythm, and then listen to it back. And then I think, oh yeah, maybe that's a bit too, you know, middly. So then I'd play, you know, take out a bit of the, you know, the mid-range, and then I'd play guitar again. And I'm just doing this on the amp, just editing it as I'm going. And I think, oh yeah, that's fine, but maybe it's a bit boomy, a bit bassy, so then I'd take down a bit of the bass, play it again, and then I was just tweaking the tone until I got it to a point where I thought, oh yeah, that's the kind of sound I want. And I had two tones. One of them was a little bit kind of low-endy and middly, and the other one was the opposite. So it had a lot of top end and a lot of the low end and mid range kind of scooped out a bit. And when I say scooped out, I wasn't doing it on the computer, I was doing it on the amp. So I was just kind of adjusting the sound. So it meant that I had two guitar tones that complemented each other. They kind of filled in gaps with each other. So then, you know, when you put those two guitars together, it's going to sound a lot fuller than just having one that might be a little bit middly and you know, and bottom endy, and too boomy. You know, you need something to kind of balance it out. So yeah, that's what I did, and it's always been my go-to is just miking up in exactly the same way as if we do have a live stream jam or a fill jam later on, then that's just, you know, the microphone sitting in front of the cone, in front of that speaker. So that's how you hear exactly what I'm doing. So yeah, I just always do have had, you know, the same setup. But yeah, it doesn't mean that, you know, emulators aren't really good at what they do, and I'm sure loads of people are very happy using them. But I guess for me, because it's my own original stuff, I tend to just use my own tone for that. But anyway, thank you for that, Mitch Marie, and Karen's donated £5 as well, so thank you for that. And the message is, hi Phil, happy 2026. It'd be great to see the program you're featured on over here in the States. As for your analysis hat, sounds like a merch item custom made for you only. Many thanks for all you do and for being you. Cheers, Karen. So thank you for that. And I'm not sure whether it will be shown in other countries or not, but I'll do my best to try and get a bit of footage, if not at least just a still, so you can see that it is me talking on screen. So Sue has donated $9.99. Thank you for that, Sue. And the message is, your Channel 5 segment would be a great Patreon perk if you could upload there. So thank you for that. And now, in terms of uploading a whole show, I definitely wouldn't be able to do that because I don't have the rights to the show. I can probably show myself talking because that is me. So it's not something that I'm going to be able to upload as something individually. But if I can find little parts of it or try and get as much as I can from it, then I can put that on Patreon. But I'm thinking maybe I can do work it into another video, because it is very much, it fits into 2025. And I was thinking about, I thought about doing this last year, but then I decided not to do it. But a lot has happened this year, so I was thinking of maybe making a video at some point that's almost a roundup of what happened in the year, because a lot of cool stuff happened, and it ended with, I thought it was going to end actually with the vocal coach collaboration video that I did for Authentic Vocal, but then it just so happened that it ended with the national TV show and kind of being featured on that. So it was definitely a good end to the year, and that if I can maybe work it into a video like that, then I certainly will do. So Cindy said, where is the likes counter? At the moment I'm reading from, I'll get the likes counter up on screen. That's what it looks like, because I'm currently reading from the super chat window, which means that's not where the stream settings are. It used to be okay because I could have the likeometer up on screen because it's in just a normal place. It was just a separate thing. But that's what we're looking at the moment. But David donated $1.49, so thank you for that. And it looks like some popcorn that is exploding. So thank you for that, David. Right, I think there's just been another donation over on PayPal, and it's Karen again with £1.42. And the message is, just out of curiosity, would you consider mentoring someone, perhaps for an authentic vocal project? Why or why not? Cheers. So thank you for that. And I've been asked multiple times to mentor people, and it's not only been for guitarists or like young guitarists, but artists that are like, I don't know what you describe them as, whether they're like maybe tribute acts or something along those kinds of lines. So it means that they're looking to make their money from impersonating someone. And I don't know whether it is an impersonator or a tribute act, but you know what I mean. So you might get somebody who comes on and sounds, really similar to George Michael, and he might look similar as well, and that's what they do for their career. Because of the analysis videos that I've done, I've been asked to try to mold the person's voice to be even more like the singer that they are attempting to sound like. And I think that's probably due to the analytical side of things, that I could listen to somebody's voice and say that, maybe the tone is really close, the expression is really close, but the vibrato has to be either sped up or slowed down by this degree in order to match the frequency of the vibrato of the singer that you're attempting to sound like, because vibrato is such a huge part of individual expression. And then, how much pitch to cover with vibrato. So I know why I've been approached about, for doing that kind of thing, but it's not something that I can get involved with because I'm just too busy doing everything that I do here on the channel and other things that do pop up from time to time, like the Channel 5 thing. I'm just using up every single second of every single day, so I don't have time to then mentor other people. But thank you for that. So let me just skip that advert, and we will now get the likeometer up on screen because we are at 289 likes. So 290. Now we need 10 more people to hit the thumbs up, and then we'll bust out the guitar and have a fill jam at the end of the live stream. So thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up. It is very much appreciated. And we have the likeometer up on screen. And somebody just said those cover bands are 1000% better than AI generated or bettered thingies you nowadays see in YouTube, in my opinion. This is it. I think for the first time last year, 2025, that was the first time that we got involved or started mentioning AI and looking at, artists that weren't actually real and AI images and, all of that. So, that was a first for the channel, but interesting in how AI is just, seemingly taking over with just where it's, where it's progressing, but what we've had recently and since the new year are different terms and conditions or terms of service that the AI companies have now added, and it's something that is, I'm not sure whether it's a game changer or not, but it's certainly it makes a huge difference. And what is quite interesting is that I've seen a lot of people that use AI are almost up in arms about the fact that anything that they put into AI, or should I say, anything that they put into the AI companies, such as Suno, let's take that as an example. Anything that you put into Suno, it can then copy and reproduce if it wants to. So the people that are putting in, for example, their own lyrics for a song and then want AI to create the song, Suno is saying, we can take your lyrics and we can reuse them and put them to another song, and you have no rights to those lyrics anymore. So people, and all I can think is, welcome to the real world. That's if you've created something yourself and it is entirely yours, and then somebody else takes that without permission and starts to distribute that as much as they want, and they might put your words to another song that then becomes a massive hit around the world, and you make no money about it, or you make no money from it. But the thing about it is that that's what genuine musicians and songwriters have been saying about AI, that it's taking all of their copyrighted material and then creating a product from that, and then the original writers aren't getting anything, but the product is absolutely reliant on the thing that was used, that they own. So the terms of service has changed, and I think the people that now use it are starting to understand the other side of the argument, that if somebody takes what you've done and you get nothing for that and can potentially make a lot of money, the company that has taken what you own, if they make a lot of money from that, then that's where the problem is. And even still, because I've seen people say, but no, if you make sure that you copyright your lyrical content, whatever you've written, then you do own that, and of course you do. That will then belong to you. But the problem with AI is that still can be used. So rather than taking all of your writing, they can take just a part of it for, say, a chorus of a song. And then you say, oh no, but that part, that's mine. But with AI, this is the problem with the argument, because loads of people can say, that riff, that's from my song. And they say, oh yeah, but it's not your whole song, it's just that little bit. And the guitar sound is slightly different. And that's what AI is. It's just kind of using all of the talent in the world and mixing it up and giving it away as a product for profit, for a charge. So, but it is good that the things are changing with AI, and that common sense is starting to at least enter the equation, where people realize, this is the problem that genuine musicians have with AI. And now the people that use AI are starting to experience that any song that they create, they don't have any rights to. So that's how it is, or at least that's how things seem to be going, that they're changing how things work. But anyway, interesting to see how all of that develops over, well, the coming months, but years as well. I'm sure at some point in the future there'll be another video that, something that huge that happens. But even though, the terms of service have changed, it's not something that, I'm jumping into or doing another video about, because we've done a lot about AI. Only if it really is something that, people need to know about, such as, a scam that people might be falling for, or, whether something's fraudulent, like that other one that we had, which was somebody setting up a donations page for an AI, a totally fabricated artist and fabricated music. But anyway, right, we are now at 331 likes. So thank you everyone for hitting the thumbs up. That means that we will be having the Phil Jam at the end of the live stream, and it's going to be Phil Jam number 295. So we'll see whatever that is. Now, Parisian Walkways has been an option for the cover video for quite a long time, I think. But it looks like it's in the lead at the moment with 52% of the vote. And we'll have to see if it can win over Hero, which is from the Spider-Man movie. So it's the Chad Kroger song. And Josie Scott, who I think that was his name, but I know that somebody mentioned Josie's name over on Patreon just quickly when I have a quick look through for the requests for the cover videos. And I think the problem with that particular song is, I don't know, that there's some copyright issue with it between Chad and Josie that maybe didn't get resolved, and they fell out about it. And I think because it was on the Spider-Man movie soundtrack, maybe there's a fair amount of money to be had from that. And I don't know exactly what happened, so I can't really say. But from memory, it was something like Josie wasn't quite given the percentage that was agreed, or what he thought he'd be getting for I think it was a song that they co-wrote. But I mean, it must have been for him not to receive the percentage that he thought that he should have got. But anyway, we'll leave all of that behind, because it's just the song that I'm doing. I'm not doing the background of the song. So if you want to hear that one, then you can vote for that at the top of the live chat room. So, and Air Jury, does that say? Or, I can't really read that, it's too small. But it says, thanks for talking about thingies after my comment. It was great. No problem. Now and again, I will look into the live chat room and I catch the little tag things which says Wings of Pegasus in orange letters, technically white letters on an orange background, but I do see them a little more clearly. So thank you for that. Right, we are going to be jumping into the PayPal window because there's been another donation in there. And this is Brinley, who has donated £10. Thank you for that. And the message is, hi Phil, you're always so busy with work and I know you care about what you do, but since you never have a day off, is there anything you do to avoid burnout? And if not, how do you deal with burnout? Is there anything you enjoy that helps you reset / recharge? So thank you for that. And I mean, what I will say is, and what I used to do is play golf before I injured my arm. And I'm still recovering from the injured arm, but it is getting better because I've started now getting back into an exercise schedule where I'm doing, like bicep curls and tricep extension and different exercises like, dumbbell flies, which is like bench press but using dumbbells. So I've got back into exercising how I normally would or did before I injured my arm. So I mean, that's good that it's kind of coming back, and I'm gradually doing a little bit more, gradually increasing the weight, which is good. And I'm hoping maybe that this year I can play golf again at some point later, maybe in the summertime, because I think that's definitely something that helps me to reset and probably recharge, but just have a total break for 3 or 4 hours and not thinking about anything that I'm doing, because I'm generally always thinking about preparing videos, recording videos, isolating audio files, getting pitch monitoring data, and sometimes for a particular video I might have 3 or 4 sets of pitch data. I might even have vocals and backing vocals for 3 or 4 performances, and there's one coming up soon where I've done that to just kind of highlight my point a little bit better. So there's a lot of preparational work, if that's a word, or just a lot of preparation that goes into it, to each analysis video. So then I kind of record the videos, edit the videos, and I just do the same schedule every week. So you just kind of get into the cycle of just doing the same thing week in, week out. And getting out there and playing golf was a good way to reset. So hopefully I can do that again a bit later in the year. But I think when I first started doing my analysis videos, I did a new video every night for 2 years. So I didn't miss a night for 2 years. And that meant that I was recording and editing videos after teaching. So I wasn't, doing this all the time. And that's when I was making the Patreon videos where I just did one a month, because I was working all around my teaching. So I was still very busy then, but I kind of look back now and think, I think once I've got my teeth into something, then I kind of do it properly. And it was just that with or what I would consider properly. So people were requesting analysis videos. I thought, well, the only way I'm going to get through these is by doing one every night. So that's what I did. And I saw a video actually after I did a new video for 2 years without missing a night. I saw somebody who had a video on their channel and they said, I made a new video on YouTube for a year straight. See how I did it, or how I suffered or whatever. So and that was their kind of big video for their channel, that they'd done it for a year. So I kind of thought to myself, but hang on, I did it for 2 years and I didn't do a big video saying, look at how I did this for 2 years straight, because I just did it. It wasn't something that I was doing as a test or something. It was just something that I kept on doing because I was in the cycle of doing it just day in, day out, and that was it. So I think I'm pretty much just still in that cycle of, my analysis videos now take probably longer to prepare, because when I'm pointing out particular things about particular performances, I have to show a lot of evidence and a lot of data and a lot of objective data that proves what I'm saying is true. And that's why my videos stay up and don't get removed. But it just means that I have to cover things and be very particular about that, and cover things from a legal perspective as well. So sometimes when people say, oh, your 20-minute video, you could have just said it in 2 or 3 minutes, you know, it didn't need to be that long. And I always say to them, it unfortunately does have to be that long, because I can imagine me making a sweeping statement about a really well-known band, saying this band or this artist mimes live, or they were miming on their last live tour, you know, or lip syncing, and they weren't playing live at all, and then I didn't show any evidence. That video is going to get removed, and it's libel, because I haven't actually proven anything. I'm just saying something that, yeah, is potentially a lie unless you prove it. So this is why I have to show a lot of data on screen, and why the videos do sometimes go on for a long time, because I've just got to really show you. Once I've shown, you know, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 sets of lines going over the top of each other from different performances over the course of, you know, 3 or 4 minutes, then yeah, there's no explanation for that other than it being the same audio file. So this is the point at which I get to, that I always get to that point where I say this is clear, and I zoom in sometimes, showing that it's going over the top of itself. So it is absolutely the, you know, same audio file, which we had in that video just after Christmas on the BBC performance, which, yeah, that was just an absolute, you know, stonewall match, because the audio was so clear from the live performance, but also the 2010 CD, because they just played the same CD. Right, so I am now going to be jumping into just the PayPal window again. There's been another donation there. It's Karen again with a £1.42 donation, and the message is, do you have a wisdom tooth update? Sending you wishes for healing and recovery. And no, not other than the x-ray that I had on New Year's Eve, which I had in the afternoon. So the wisdom teeth are kind of okay, but now the top on the other side is now aching a bit. I think it's just this time in my life that the wisdom teeth are starting another push to come through. So it's a bit annoying that it's over on this side now, because the one that was infected is over on this side, and I'd say this is worse than this at the moment. I'm just hoping that there isn't going to be another infection, because that's a real pain. Quite literally a pain. Yeah, I don't want it to get like it did. Yeah, what was that? Before Christmas, probably the week before Christmas. So, right, now we're up to date in the PayPal window, and Peridot has donated £5. Thank you for that. And the message is, for Dan Wench, my band has recorded some EPs. I asked for no tuning on my vocals, but I'm worried they were added. How can I be sure? So thank you for that. And I mean, if you've recorded in a studio, the producer will have all of the takes. So you'd be able to get all of those kind of stems, you know, all of the different, if you wanted your guitar solo, you know, singled out in the mix, and you just wanted to hear that, then yeah, it's really easy to export that. You just, you know, do a single click, give it a file name, and then you've got it. So if you want your original vocal and you don't want it to be tuned, then you can ask for the original vocal, and if they send you that original vocal, then, I mean, hopefully you'll be able to tell if they've done anything to it, but you'll be able to then compare that to the final mix, because you can isolate the vocals in the final mix, and if it's exactly the same audio file, then it will replicate itself in pitch monitoring software. It will go over the top of itself if it's exactly the same. If it's been you know, pitch corrected or moved in pitch by, you know, a few cents here or a few cents there, you'll see those go outside of the line because the pitch has been edited. So yeah, you want to make sure that you get the raw vocal, raw meaning just into the microphone, nothing done to it, and then just wait for the final mix to come out, and then you'll be able to compare it with that raw vocal, and yeah, it'll be as clear as day on the pitch monitoring software if it was pitch corrected or not. So that was for Dan, but thank you, Peridot, for asking that question on behalf of Dan. So right, we are going to just jump back to here to get the like comment up on the screen. By the way, if you're watching this in the future on catch up, you can still hit the thumbs up. It really does help the live streams to get out there a little bit more and for the channel to grow on the whole. And just quickly to mention about last night's video, which was the video that I had to make because somebody said that I had changed. And no, they said, if Randy Meisner's vocal was so good, why have you changed it? It's along those lines. And I gave the exact quote in the video. But I had to make a video because this is the problem in the future, is when official channels are releasing performances, say from 1977, and they upload it and they don't say that they've changed the vocal. Now everyone thinks that that was the original vocal in 1977, but it's not. In that case, it would have been like a 2025 version or a 2026 version if they're now going to melodyne everybody's vocals from the 60s, 70s, 80s. And that's the problem, that people will think that I have changed a vocal, and they'll think that if they do hear an actual original vocal, they'll think, oh, well, they've edited that because it's not perfectly on the lines all the time, because I know from the official channel that Randy just sang on the lines of A440 standard pitch equal temperament perfectly all the time, which of course he didn't. None of the great singers do. Only tuned singers do. So yes, it's just a shame that it's so far gone now that people really don't know what they're listening to, and because it's on official channels, you're listening to doctored audio on official channels. Like, false audio is being released in an official capacity. So really weird, but like I said in my video, I'll point it out whenever I see it. And it's just a shame that it's so far gone. But now let me see if there was a question. Oh no, it's Melody Rock. So I just had a look in, and Melody Rock said, Phil, how do you match up the lines together? Do you use Adobe? So no, I just have the audio file that, like, say for example, with the BBC footage that I have the BBC footage and I have the 2010 CD. So both of those have audio on them, and I always isolate. You can go to Vocalize straight from the from Google, just type in vocalize.com, and you can go there and it will isolate vocals for you so that you can listen to the vocal and practice your singing, because it is really fundamentally for singers to help improve their pitch, just as an exercise or a tool to use for training. So you can go there, you can do that. But what I use it for, and the stuff that I can do on it, I have a lot more options. It's not really something that is going to be used for practicing singing. It's more isolating vocals. So should I say plotting pitch on A440 standard pitch equal temperament, and the isolating vocals part of it I still do with Moises.ai, because I find that Moises is a lot more dialed in to getting quality from the vocal, getting quality files independently, and then I run those through vocalize.com, which, and by the way, you can find all of this in the description of each video. I say that the vocal isolations are done with Moises.ai, and vocalize.com is used for the the pitch monitor that we look at. And the reason that it's a little bit different is that I've been given the video data in 100 frames per second, which means that I can move through the video data on that, or the pitch graph, at 1/100th of a second per frame. So when I move it forwards, if you're getting the same peaks and the same lines covering over themselves, then it is the same audio file, because there's zero variation in the timing. And this is why the BBC one was so ridiculous, is that the timing's perfect to 0/100ths of a second throughout the whole performance. So that's something that I can do. And for comparing pitch lines and pitch data, you can use the default pitch monitor there if you want to. So yeah, you can absolutely do that, and you can create a free account. But yeah, it was fundamentally developed for singing practice. But then I'm just going to skip this advert. But then Jared got in contact with me and offered the use of the pitch graph, and I said, at the moment what I'm using is fine for what I do, is absolutely conclusive. But then I said to him, but if you can do this and this and this and this, and I asked for lots of different options, like adjusting sensitivity and adjusting tuning. Say for example something was recorded at 436 hertz, I get those options as well to adjust that, to just dial in what I'm analyzing and what I can show on screen to cover every single angle. Because okay, so some people, I mean, you might not understand why having the options are important, but let's say for example somebody recorded a vocal at 440 hertz tuning, and they then pitch corrected their vocal, and then they released that, and it was maybe written as or referenced as being a live performance. So you've now got that pitch data, but they might think, oh, let's now do another live performance, but what we will do is just adjust the tuning. So it's now at 436 hertz, which means, of course, the lines aren't going to go over the top of each other, because you've now moved that tuning from 440 down to 436. So they won't go over the top. So if you are analysing and you don't really know what you're looking at, you'll think, oh, well, these are two totally separate live performances because the lines don't go over the top of each other. But if you're like me and you think, well, the tuning of this is at 436 hertz, therefore I'm now going to adjust the pitch monitor to now plot exactly where this line, well, where the vocal goes, but where the vocal line goes, and I can now put those two graphs together, 440 and 436, and I can show if a line goes over itself, therefore it's the same audio file, but all they've done is try to get away with it by adjusting their tuning. So yeah, anyway, you don't need to know about all of that, but it's just stuff that I like to have to get the analysis videos to a level where I always say that I set a high bar for my analysis videos, but I have to make sure that everything is absolutely 100% correct and objective. And if there's any doubt about anything in any of my analysis videos, then I say it in the analysis video that, these are two separate vocals, or, they might sound the same, but the pitch data shows that they are different. So yeah, that's what lining them up. Anyway, I kind of got sidetracked there. So very quickly, so showing them on screen, I use Final Cut Pro 10 and I get the files, I place one on top of the other one. Obviously make sure that the performance starts at exactly the same time. So you want the audio to start at precisely the same time. So then when the lines start getting drawn, they will either follow over the top of each other perfectly or they won't. So once you've got those synchronized, I also can on Final Cut Pro 10 adjust the opacity of each of these files, which means that I can place one over the top of each other and you can see through to see if they are covering each other or not, the vocal lines. So that's what I do on Final Cut Pro 10. And yeah, it's quite I guess quite a lot of steps to go through with the isolating vocals, the pitch monitor data, because those come from different pieces of software. But anyone can use it. That's what's really important about my analysis videos. It can all be cross-referenced, so people know what I'm saying is the truth. It is an objective fact. I'm not fabricating anything. Anyone can go and do what I'm doing. Hence why my videos stay up, because anyone that thinks, let's try and find find a loophole somewhere in what he's done, they'll go and get the same pitch data and realize that what they're watching on their phone or on their computer is exactly what I'm showing on screen. So that's the good thing about it. It is something that can be cross-referenced. But yeah, so just make sure that you get both of the performances starting at exactly the same time, and then the data will run its course for however long that song is. If it's the same, it will run exactly the same as I showed in that Yeah, video on Ella Jones. Right. I think we are going to be jumping into Parisian Walkways by 1% of the vote, it looks like. And it is Parisian Walkways with 51% of the vote. Hero had 49%. And yeah, we will be jumping into that. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you after. Rock!
Looking back at the photographs, those summer days spent outside corner cafes. Ooh, I could write you paragraphs about my old Parisian days.
And there we have it. That was my version of Parisian Walkways, the Gary Moore classic. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And Melody Rock says, Phil, how did you get that sustain? So it was feedback, and that's what Gary Moore does. And if you're playing that particular song, you're going to need to figure out where you need to go to get that feedback. So it's just as soon as you find that spot and get your guitar in that exact position, you need to be playing loudly in order to start getting that feedback loop going. So yeah, you just hit the note and you know where to go. So when I was doing this cover, I knew how to something that you practice before you do it. Obviously, you know where to stand, how to angle your guitar, so then you start getting feedback, and yeah, that note will go on forever as long as you have electricity and your amp is staying on. That feedback loop will continue. So it's not like a sustain pedal or anything, and that's why I'm using the Fender Strat in that video, which doesn't have any sustain. So it shows if you get into the right position, then get feedback starting, and yeah, you can stand there for as long as you want. I didn't want to do it too long for the cover video because it is a cover video. It's not really a live version, so I just let it feedback for a while, and you think, well, yeah, I could be here for 10 or 20 minutes. So I left it long enough so that people in the know will know that you don't get that amount of sustain from a Fender Strat, but you will do if you can get feedback going. Just let it continue. So right now, we are going to jump into Picture Corner because we've got a little bit of stuff going on in there. So let's jump in, and we will be getting into the Fill Jam, of course. But now, where are we going here? I think we just have a couple of pictures for tonight. Here's the first one, always a little bit off to the side. So I might see if I can just move that a little bit more into the middle. Now, where is it? Here it is. Right, let's grab that, move it over here. So here we have some authentic vocal merch, which is available. There's a tray underneath this video, and you can get the Wings of Pegasus merchandise and the authentic vocal merch there as well. And we have a mug here, and I'm not sure whether it's, I think it's called I think it's still called a tumbler, something that keeps drinks like hot and cold. But anyway, this is from Angela, and Angela said, just received my authentic vocal mug and tumbler. Very cool. The tumbler cap screws on. So thank you for that, Angela. And here we have a Wings of Pegasus word search. So this has been sent in by Amy. So thank you for this. And the message is, here's a year-end Wings of Pegasus word search for my fellow word nerds. Next time I'll include Phil Tune and Phil Jam. So yeah, thank you for that, and thank you, Laura, for linking me to those pictures for tonight. Now, the other thing that has happened over on the authentic vocal merch page, just because I'll show this up on screen, I have moved this bit up a bit, and this and this I've made a little bit smaller on the mugs. So it means that if you have the big design, then you were an early adopter, and these aren't going to be available anymore because it's now going to be a smaller authentic vocal logo. I just thought maybe it was too big, and also, well, these are going to be like limited editions now. It's more of a grey colour behind the logo, but now it's just like a jet black colour in the background because, yeah, I kind of preferred the jet black. This is the problem, that I start kind of changing things and think, oh, I prefer that, but then again I prefer that, and then I change it to this, and then I change it to that. So yeah, that's what I've done on the mugs, and I think on the caps as well now. It's just going to, I mean, this kind of looks like it's dark black, but it is like more of a grey colour, I think. But yeah, so there you go. Those people that have already made the purchases, you've got yourselves some limited edition. Not really limited edition, it's just because they were what they were, and now you've got them. But yeah, the other ones that will be coming out, don't worry if the logo's a little bit smaller. That's something that I've done myself, so don't complain to to the store. You can complain to me. So anyway, right, that is Picture Corner for tonight. So let's get rid of that and then get rid of that. Right, now 7 minutes past midnight. So we are going to turn that on. Oh, and I've still got my laptop for the fill jam. And it's the strap that is plugged in. Right, now. So we are going to be jumping into fill jam number 295. Right, now this is... Okay, hard rock backing track in G minor, and then there's like a line that says BT-218, so backing track 218, and this is from N&M Creation, and that's a capital N and M Creation on YouTube. So let me know if you can hear this once I get it going. Do that. Okay, right, that is ready to go. Now, yeah, as with the fill jams now, I have to listen to it through this laptop, which is a bit quiet, but, you know, that's rock and roll. We'll see how we get on. Hear this? Okay, seems like we can hear it. Okay, it's just going to be the same thing over and over and over and over and over. How long is this going to go on for? Okay, we've got another minute. Okay, there we had it. That was Hard Rock backing track in G minor BT 218 from N&M Creation. So that was what it was. It's like 7 minutes of relatively just the same thing. It's quite short going from one section to the next, but that was all right. So yeah, it's always a little bit weird listening to it out of a laptop and hearing it sounded relatively straightforward, but kind of hearing the backing track and then hearing the guitar, it's not quite as efficient as it was before. But this is just the way that we have to deal with it, and that's what happens with live streaming. And when stuff doesn't quite work as it should, but at least we can have a fill jam. It doesn't matter that it sounds a bit rubbish on this side of things. Hopefully it sounds all right where you guys are. Right, we are going to be calling things to a close now. So thank you guys for tuning in tonight, and we are up to date with everything. So I'm going to be here with another video tomorrow night. Look out for that one, 8 PM Greenwich Mean Time. That's when the analysis videos release. Let me just skip that advert. And right, tomorrow night I'm going to be live streaming on Tuesday night as always, and those live streams happen at 11 PM Greenwich Mean Time on a Tuesday and a Saturday, exactly the same as 2025. So all that's left for me to say is try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend. Happy New Year, of course, and I'll see you guys at tomorrow night's video. Rock!